Hi there. Right, what we're going to try to do today, or show you how it's done, is do a board replacement. We're going to do it on the shop floor, which has got a herringbone parquet floor down in American oak. We're going to imagine that this plank here has been damaged, been scratched, and it can't be repaired in the normal way. So what we're going to do is remove this block and put a new block in there. Now, this is not really a DIY project because there's lots of things that can potentially go wrong. So you must have the correct tools and you must have the knowledge of how to take this out in an easy manner. How it's done, obviously these floors are stuck. These are all individual pieces. They're all stuck well as in a permanent fix position. So what you need to do, we need to heat the adhesive up so the adhesive becomes soft, and then we can peel the board up. Once we've done that, we can cut and put a new board and put it back in place. Now, the problems that can occur is obviously when you're removing this, it can pull the floor that it's stuck to up, i.e. if it's a screeded floor or a plyboard floor. Once it starts pulling, sometimes, doesn't matter if we heat the floor up, it can shred the ply or it can loosen the screed and lift it off. So you've got to be a little bit careful with that. And sometimes you just don't know it's going to happen until you actually start doing the work. So you try to think about things first of all. So you just make sure that it feels all sound around this sort of block, and you make sure nothing is really coming up or there's no obvious signs of anything coming up. Once you're at that stage and you're saying, right, we're gonna change this now, you will get the heater on and we will slowly heat this on, and we will try to lift the edge of the Amtico and pull that back. Now, what can happen, and has happened in the past, it can loosen off this block, this block, this block, this block. So that you get into the situation where you're trying to change this one, but you might have to change several blocks around it. So a couple of things to think about. Have you got enough spare tiles? Have you got, is it a discontinued Amtico? So you're not going to be able to buy those things in the future. So lots of things to think about, and you will get advice of the professional who's actually doing it for you. I'd always advise you go to your the store that fitted the floor first of all. If they're not around, you would go to an authorized Amtico fitter. You can go to amtico.com and they will have a list in your local area. Once you've got an expert on site, it's not a big deal. Now, you can do it from small blocks to full-size planks or tiles. Obviously, the bigger the area, the more potential problems you can occur. So that's why this is a job as a last resort, if you like. You don't want to be changing a tile every month. You might want to wait until you've got a few bad tiles, and then you would make the changes. It's not a 5-minute job. So bear with me on this, but I'm just going to show it to you, and if you just want to know how it's done, this is the best way. So look, so we're going for this tile here, as we said. So hot air, this is a professional hot air gun. Any paint stripper or something like that can be used. But as I say, be very careful. Once it gets hot, this is very hot, and it will burn you. So you've got to be a bit careful with that. Once you're happy it's started getting hot, then you slowly start heating the plank up, trying to keep it on the plank that you're doing. You don't want to go over the edge because that will loosen off the other planks. Once we're sort of happy that it's sort of heating up nicely, we want to get the knife in there and slowly lift it. If we can't get the knife in there, once we've got a little bit up, that's when we can start to do that. And you get the heat behind it, and that is slowly melting the adhesive. Should be coming up. pulling on it gently. You don't want to pull too hard. There we go. Switch the hot air gun off. Don't put it straight down on the floor. Put it on a surface where it's not going to damage the floor. So there we go. That's your Amtico piece lifted off. As you can see the glue transfer. So you can stuck down very well. We've been very lucky on this one. I don't know if you can see, but literally it hasn't pulled any screed. It's left very little glue residue there. So pleased with that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to find, so that's cooled down a bit. So we haven't got an actual size plank. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a full size plank, and then I'm going to cut a piece out of that. So again, that's how versatile it is. If you haven't literally got one of these, we can make the plank up for you. So we know the size, it's a 12" by 3". So all we do, we're going to mark that. And we know it's to there. I will check the sizing before I cut anything. Yeah. So once we're happy, with that, that's the piece we're going to use. So then we use a sharp knife, and then you would score careful not to slip off the end. You need to score it several times. The Amtico is a very tough product. You've got to cut through the surface layer. That's your piece cut out there. Just got to burr the edges off it. So what you do, you actually got to what we call bevel the edge. So basically bevel the edges is taking the edge, so it's chamfered, if you like, so it's not actually dead square. If you ever look at all of the Amticos, they're just beveled around the edge. That gives it its distinctive look, so it gives it a slightly better finish. So let's see how that fits in there. Pretty much spot on. So that's, you want it a real nice snug fit. So you don't want it so it's loose, it can move. So when that adhesive grabs that, that will hold it down in perfect. Yeah. So once you're happy that fits nicely, and you haven't got to retrim the floor or anything, that's when we're going to start gluing out this. So usually you would always glue the floor first, and then you would put this in. A bit awkward to glue that little bit there, so I'm just going to glue the back of the tile and then put it on the top. There we go. Damp cloth is always handy, just so you can just wipe away any glue residue after you put it on there. Again, we're just going to use a spare piece here there. Usually you'd have a proper serrated trowel. I'm just using this just because it's nice and easy. So again, so we're just going to put a bit of adhesive on the back. It's always a messy job. So you put plenty on. happy with that. There's the cloth. Again, it gets a little bit messy, but we can just wipe it off after. So just firmly press it down so it's holding. Obviously that glue needs a bit of time to go off. You might get a little bit of residue coming up, but it's quite easy just to wipe away, even with some glue remover. So effectively, that's it. So that was the damaged tile, set on there. We've taken that out, we've put a new piece in. Straightforward. As I say, you wouldn't want to do this every time you get one little scratch on the tile, but it is a great get out of jail, if you like, of repairing your floor. Hope that helps. Thank you.